Okay, we've already discussed what improper payments are and where most of the improper payments are going. So here we find ourselves at improper payments part 3. Why does the government keep making improper payments? Number one is eligibility errors. They're paying the benefit out to people who are not eligible, or people who may have been eligible at one point in time, but they're no longer eligible. Verification problems. The government is paying out money without properly verifying the payments, whether it be income or some other criteria, and the government just keeps making the payments. Human error. This is when someone enters $1,800 in the system when the intended recipient should have gotten $1,200. That's human error. Missing documentation. This is important because someone may be eligible for a benefit and the amount may be correct. Everything is correct. But if there's no documentation supporting the payment, if there's no documentation in the file, then it's still considered an improper payment. Fraud. This is a big one. Someone intentionally giving false information to receive a payment. That's an improper payment. Now, for the government, how to stop all of these payments before they even happen. The government needs to make sure that they're sending these payments to the right person, the intended recipient. The government needs to make sure that the intended recipient is eligible. So whether they're eligible for the first time or they could have been eligible before but no longer are eligible, the government needs to make sure that the person receiving the benefit is eligible right now. And the government needs to make sure they're sending out the right amount so that they don't cause either an overpayment or an underpayment. So if they're supposed to send out $1,200, they need to send out $1,200. They don't need to send out $1,800 or $600 that will cause an overpayment or an underpayment. They have to make sure they're sending out the right amount. And we just talked about proper documentation. Before the payment goes out, the documentation has to support the payment. It absolutely has to, and it has to be in the file. If there's no proper documentation, then there's no payment. The payment will just simply be delayed or it won't go out. That will stop an improper payment. Now, if the money does go out, which oftentimes it does, and that's why the government sends out so much money in improper payments, the government needs to quickly find the error. So if, in our most recent example, if the government sent out $1,800 and they should have sent out $1,200, they need to quickly find out that they made that error. And the same is true in reverse. If the government was supposed to send out $1,200, but they only sent out $800, they need to find that out quickly as well. And then if it's an overpayment, the government needs to quickly recover that money. So if they sent out $1,800 and they were only supposed to send out $1,200, that $600 difference needs to be recovered. And if the money goes out wrong, the government needs to fix the problem. So continuing with the example, if the government sent out $1,800 but was only supposed to send out $1,200, they need to find out why that $600 overpayment was sent out. And if this keeps happening, they need to find out why this is a recurring problem. And it is a recurring problem because the government sends out so much money in overpayments. Check that. Better information. The government needs better information. Current records. The government's current records need to reflect who's eligible to receive the payments now. All of those folks who are ineligible to receive a benefit, those persons need to be eliminated from the current records, and this will stop a lot of the overpayments. Accurate data. If we're talking about income and someone says that they make 20,000 a year, the accurate data needs to reflect that instead of say they actually earn 50,000 a year. Because the difference between the 20,000 a year and 50,000 a year is if they make 50,000 a year, they may be ineligible for a benefit. But if they make 20,000 a year, they may be eligible. So the government needs to focus on ensuring that they have accurate data. Agency sharing. Sometimes in order to pay a benefit, one agency needs to share information with another agency. So there needs to be better agency sharing uh, between agencies, and this will help to eliminate a lot of the improper payments. And remember, improper doesn't always mean fraud, but fraud can cause improper payments. Certainly, knowingly providing false information can cause a benefit to be paid when it shouldn't be paid. And the big question is, does the government, what is it going to be? Prevent fraud or chase fraud after it happens? No, prevent improper payments or chase improper payments after they happen. And obviously, it's going to be prevent the improper payments, because once the improper payments is out the door, there's never a guarantee that all of the improper payments will be recovered. But if the government can prevent, I like to say all improper payments, but at least more than they're doing now, then that would be great. Uh, uh, it would be great for the government, and it'd be even greater for veterans because a lot of those improper payments that are stopped before they goes out, that money could eventually possibly be reallocated to veterans, and so veterans will, hopefully never need to be on the list of folks who uh, could possibly be cut, whether we're talking about cutting veteran benefits or veteran programs. If the government stops making all of these improper payments, then veterans will be much better off. If you found value in this live video, give me the thumbs up and consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next live video. Veterans, helping veterans.